Hello, everyone. I'm here with our visiting speaker of this month, our former Rabbi, Jamie Cowen. Jamie, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, just for those that might not know you yet.
Yeah, great. Well, sure, Maggie. Of course, as you said, my name is Jamie Cowen. I was the rabbi of Tikvat Israel for 22 years, from 1990 to 2011, the end of 2011, when we immigrated to Israel. And I've been practicing law here ever since, doing immigration to the United States. So, yeah, that's me. Yeah, so I came to faith, pretty young. I was senior in high school when I came to faith. I grew up in a Jewish family in the Washington, D.C. area, and we were, I had my bar mitzvah and everything, Hebrew school and so on. But we were not a very religious family. We were kind of a typical American Jewish family back in the 1960s. When I was in high school, through a girl I was dating, I began to for the first time heard about Jesus. Through her, I heard about him, and then I started going to a high school Christian group when I got to my senior year in high school. I still remember that. I mean, the first meeting was in the fall of 1969, so I'm kind of dating myself here a little bit. But of course, the gray hair kind of also gives it away. But I still remember that meeting very vividly. I walked into this room of this house, and it was jam-packed with students. I had no idea what I was getting into. I mean, had been invited by fellow students to come, and they had told me about it. And for quite a while, I wasn't interested in it at all because I was Jewish, and Jewish people don't believe in Jesus, and I wasn't really into religion at all. So, but anyway, I went, and as soon as I went in, I was completely impacted. I knew there was something different there. I didn't know what it was. Obviously, it was the presence of the Lord. The meeting went on, and they sang a few songs, did a couple skits, and then the leader got up and started talking about this man named Jesus, who I didn't know anything about at all. I didn't really understand anything he said, but I was impacted. And then I started, after a few weeks, he gave me a New Testament. I used to hide it in my bookcase behind my books because I knew if my parents found it, I'd be in serious trouble. Every night I read, and I was just really impacted. And over time, I just began to believe, and my life started really changing. I mean, I was a product of the 60s. I was involved in all kinds of junk, and the Lord had to really change me and transform me, and that was the beginning. But of course, that was the beginning of also the challenges with my family by being a Jew. And that led to like a whole long story, which obviously we don't have time to get into, but that was the beginning. But basically, I've been walking with them ever since. And so that's kind of my story. Well, obviously, it's a form of outreach, and it's based on relationship, which, I very much believe in. And certainly practiced when I was at Tikvat. I was very much involved and encouraged other members of the congregation to be very involved in the Jewish Community Center and in various Jewish programs that various groups had. And so, through being involved in the JCC and the fitness center, got to build a lot of relationships. And through those relationships, over time, you're able to share your faith in a non-threatening way. I think the goal, of course, is to make Yeshua known and to make him attractive. And so if you live a life that represents him in a community where they don't believe and they see something different about you, the goal is that they begin to ask questions, or you have opportunities to begin to share your faith. And that's what happened. Over many, many years, we had quite an impact in the Jewish community, I would say, for sure.